Hello, everybody. Welcome to CVG-TV. My name is Gregory Parks, and you are watching ConLink. With us this time is one of our guests of honor, local author and cosplay enthusiast, Jessica Walsh. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
Hello. Doing good.
Great. Thank you for joining us today. I'm glad you made your way to our couch today.
I like this one.
Excellent. It's nice and comfy. Hopefully I can keep you from falling asleep. I won't bore you too much. So, 2022, we are at CONvergence at a new hotel. This is the second CONvergence since the arrival of the pandemic. And you find yourself coming back as a guest of honor. How does that feel?
I'm looking forward to it. It's kind of strange, but it's like been working towards it for a while.
So working toward it as in it's been an ambition that you've had, and
yeah, it's kind of cool. Once you get to go to conventions, it's kind of a natural thing of like, oh, one day I want to be a guest. That would be really cool. Even if you don't know what that involves at the beginning.
Yeah. Did you think it would happen so relatively quickly? I say quickly, understanding that time is weird, and I say relatively specifically because, because you're local and you've been coming to CONvergence for several years now. But still, did you think it would happen so relatively quickly? Or did you think, you would be an AARP member and and then eventually, it's like, hey, I would like to give you a Lifetime Achievement Award or something,
I'm usually the type of person who's like, I usually don't expect things like this to happen. So my partner is more of the ambitious type in things. But it's like, so it's nice.
So, what are you looking forward to for the return to CONvergence this year? Because it's been quite a few years since most of us have done conventions. What was the last pre-pandemic convention that you attended?
I'm not going to remember the last one. Oh no, it was OhioCon, I think. I think that's the one. It's like that was,
wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. And we're just now getting back into conventions. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the familiar faces again. Because there's a lot of people that I really only see at conventions that I haven't seen for a while. And talking on the internet isn't the same. So it's like being able to see them again and actually get a little bit of that back is really nice.
That camaraderie, it sounds like the camaraderie and the connection is one of the things that you look
It's the best part of
that you look forward to. What other things do you look forward to at CONvergence?
I like the panels and things that I usually end up marking a bunch of panels I want to go to for things that I don't know about, because it's a great way to learn different stuff or find out series to look into. I like seeing all the cosplayers, all the costumes, and just all the creative stuff in the vendor room. I'd kind of just like the whole con.
Just like soaking it in and then just having the whole extra suitcase full of stuff or the extra backpack full of stuff that you picked up at the convention.
Cons feel like my normal. Going to work is the not normal part.
I know several people, not me, of course.
Of course not.
Not me. who share that. There's just something homey and comforting about being at a convention, even though you're staying in a hotel and however you're getting your food, whether you have a crock pot in your room or something like that. There's still that feeling of camaraderie and belonging.
I like being in a space of people who, it's like you've already done part of the work, so it's like it's really easy. I know that you guys follow the same things I do. I know that you're into the same type of thing, so I don't have to try and have that extra anxiety of how do I talk to these people. So it's just easier at conventions.
Yeah, like you're there. It's not like you have to. It's not like you have to try as hard to be socially adept, because so many like the we're all in some way or another socially awkward.
Yeah, and these
And
these are my people.
Yeah, and so speaking of getting into that, revisiting and going back to that convention mode, as a guest of honor, as a writer, as a cosplayer, you are undoubtedly going to have some things to talk about. What have you been working on lately? What have you been working on with your writing or your costuming?
With costuming, it's been leaning more towards designed stuff. So it's like I'm not as much into duplicating a costume exactly as it looks. I would much rather create like a dress that this character might have worn, or a dress that'll make you think of a certain show. Because then I can be more creative with it, and it'll be something that either myself or my partner is more comfortable wearing, especially at a convention with a large amount of people, and especially since not being at a table as much. With writing, I've been trying to work on the third one for the Storyteller series, but it was basically out during the pandemic. No writing got done during that. So, but now the muses are back, so I think I'm juggling like 3 different stories at a time.
Wait, 3 stories that will fit within the Storyteller series, or 3 stories including this other storytellers?
3 completely different things, because that's how my brain works.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, the brain isn't just one train on one track. It's
I've got,
or a multiverse of the same train.
Yes. I've got the third one for that, and then I'm actually working on a story that doesn't yet have a name, but it's something that technically I've been working on since high school. It was back on a story idea that my group of friends and I came up with, and I'm actually trying to turn into a novel. I've been trying this multiple times, but I think I got it this time. So hopefully it will be, I want to get it done by the end of this year.
Oh, cool. That's exciting. Especially because in geeky spaces, we find ourselves with adults, with fellow people who might have been expected to give up certain things because adults don't do that, or finding ways in which creativity may have been socialized out of us or out of people as adults. How did you hold on to that, or was it something that you had to, or was it something that you found yourself revisiting and rediscovering?
It's kind of a revisit. I guess this would technically be called a trunk novel. The one that you work on it for a bit and then you toss it in a drawer and then you pick it up a couple years later. So it's kind of been like that. It's just, I remember that creativity with my friends, and I really wanted it to become something. So I'm going to make it become something.
And this time it's determination.
Yes.
It's dogged determination. So what first drew you to writing? When did you first start writing? What was the moment, or what was the collection of moments when you first thought, yes, I can definitely do this and keep doing this. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm built for.
I think it was actually, before I realized what it was fanfic. I would watch shows with my parents or with my cousin, and I'd want to be in the show. So there may or may not be some self-insert Star Trek, gargoyles, old stuff that I have in totes at home. Ninja Turtles, things like that. Before I knew that it was actually fanfic and other people, there was this huge community of people writing it. It's like I did it anyways. And I've always my brain works better even at schools and stuff, where I'll be learning and taking notes for one thing and I'll be writing a story on the other side. And just doing 2 at the same time, because my brain just really wants to get these stories out. And if I don't write them down, then I kind of go nuts.
Hi there, all you very nearly adults. I want to thank you for your positive responses to the advertising that was okay, I admit it. Between you and me, it was pointed right at you. I get to see so many of these, what do you call them, tiki-talks? You do all this. Give us money, free advertising, set yourselves up to be stuck on us forever. I love your support so much because it's so selfless. I mean, come on, you know, right? I don't care one bit about you. Enjoy our products.
Hi, are you here for the book swap? Well, that's wonderful. If you want to leave a book or take a book, maybe sit, read, and relax, it's all free here. Well, I mean, if you're feeling adventurous, we do have our blind date with a book selection, so you could try out something that you might not have considered. Book swap. Whether you want to give books, take books, sit, read, relax, or all of the above, it's always free. The book swap is located on the 6th floor Promenade Alcove.
If you don't write them out, do you find that you lose them, or is that more a fear that you might lose them? Is that something that you've experienced, or is it more that they just keep looking over your shoulder and going, hey,
It's that one.
hey, like which?
They keep bothering me. I tend to have a folder now that I call plot bunnies, that even if it's not a fully formed idea, I'll throw it in there and I'll probably come back and visit it. Or I have certain characters that have shown up over and over again in different stories and different forms of like, hey, yeah, you kind of got me a little bit, not quite. And it's like, oh no, this is the same person I wrote about in that other story, but no, now they make more sense. So it's the ideas keep bugging me if I don't write them down.
And then you have to feed them, and they don't pay
Yep.
rent, and
Kind of like cats, yeah.
yeah. Man, if my cat would just get a job, I mean, man, that's all I ask. I mean, he's cute and adorable. I just, if only they would get jobs.
I think it's also the same idea with my horror stuff of, I started writing horror to write down the ideas that scared me, and they don't scare me as much anymore. So it's like taking all the things that really creeped me out, because I'm actually very easily scared. But writing them into a story, it's like gaining a type of control over it, or it's inflicting it on other people. One of the two.
It's like, let me share this horror with you. So then it's kind of both. So it's kind of therapeutic in a way, but horror is also something that you like and that you're kind of drawn to. Is that
Yes, very
correct?
much.
Cool. So what is some of your favorite horror? Like, what are elements or examples of the things that you like most about horror?
I'm a huge fan of Asian style horror. So, I mean, the ones people go to are like The Ring and The Grudge and stuff. But I just like the different mindset of this is a force of nature that you cannot get away from. And once you realize it's there, it's probably not going to leave you alone. It's like there's no quick fix for it, it's just there. And once you realize it's in your world, that's probably the worst possible thing. As for specific names, I'm a huge fan of Junji Ito. So he's really well known for intricate designs in his manga, and I love all of his stuff. Even his one about his cats, which he is terrified of.
He's terrified of his cats.
He is terrified of his cats, and it is a hilarious manga because it's just a cute story of a guy who doesn't like his cats, and he draws them in the most terrible ways possible. Like, this thing terrifies me.
What's that one called? Because now I'm curious about it now.
It's Junji Ito's Cat Diary.
Okay, Junji Ito's Cat Diary. I'm going to have to write that one down. Thank you. Thank you. So, as far as so you are horror is one of your geekeries. Also, anime and manga.
Yep.
What are some of the other aspects of the geekosphere that you enjoy or that you're inspired by?
I'm a big fan of urban supernatural, but that's kind of linked towards horror. I like supernatural elements in our world because I think our world is more interesting than we let on. So seeing that reflected in stuff. I like watching people create things. So I'm a huge geek of that. So I like seeing costumes people make, quilts, designs. I like seeing the actual work of doing it, and then also the finished project.
Kind of like the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
And
I
the
love the
process
behind the
of
scenes
things.
stuff.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of the magic is, right?
Or it's like,
think,
oh,
like,
that's how you
are
did that.
Yeah, like there's this idea that have you heard of the idea of ruining the magic?
I don't
Like that
think
if you tell
can.
somebody, yeah, like I don't think you can because and it's for the same reason that you said, like because finding out how they made this happen when you didn't know how before, you just saw the final product, and then you saw how they made it, like that enhances the magic to me.
Yeah. I like seeing the techniques, and some of them I like
it sounds
absorbing
like-
like a sponge.
Yeah. And then is that also another source of inspiration for your
Definitely. Since I'm
for-
self-taught in costume making and sewing, that's definitely how I've gotten a lot of that. It's like I just kind of absorb the techniques and things that I've seen, or it's like, oh, I think I can do it this way, and it may or may not actually work.
and that inspires or not inspiring because I've already said that, but that facilitates learning.
Yeah.
Marvelous. I would like to backtrack a little bit, if I may.
Okay.
If I may. So you said there was the first couple years of the pandemic was just like shut down. You didn't write. But what did you do for yourself during that time creatively, whether creating or absorbing things? Like what sort of things did you use to feed yourself and to give yourself rest and calm and creative recharging?
A lot of it was playing Animal Crossing with my partner and our friends. We all played the game together and logged in at the same time each night. So it kind of was a way to like check in and control something in a hugely chaotic environment. And a lot of it was also picking up manga and reading a lot more than I was. And absorbing that and watching video games. I think we got addicted to quite a few YouTube channels of just things that made us laugh and things you could focus on that were something else. So I probably absorbed quite a bit of media in those years. It's all kind of melded together.
Oh, come on. We can go in for just a few minutes and we'll be just fine.
Nay, I shan't enter this party as we are currently in a plague. Besides, there be drugs and vapes in there, and I shall not partake.
We can just wear our masks. +3 against viral beholders.
I do not believe you are going to wear your mask the whole time that you're in there. You can't go 5 minutes without hitting your magical pipe.
Ooh. Tally-ho.
Ugh.
Take -5 modifier for your magical pipe.
What did I tell you?
Please don't come to CONvergence if you're sick. And for sake, cover it when you cough or sneeze. Please wash your hands. Con crud is no joke for some of us. Please do not touch foodstuffs with your bare hands or feet. Do you want ghosts? This is how you get ghosts.
And then now you find yourself ready and raring to go for this third book in the storyteller series. What would you say about the storyteller series thus far to somebody who comes in not knowing anything about it?
Well, basically, it does take place here in the Twin Cities, which is kind of fun. So if you're a local person, you might actually find yourself recognizing some of the places that we mentioned. Like, part of it takes place at the Como Zoo. And so it's
Cool.
our world with little bits of supernatural things mixed in. So it might actually make you want to look into that shadow a second time, or maybe that thing you saw wasn't as normal as you thought it was. So ideas like that.
Cool. In that, kind of like bringing in and working off of the idea of that our world has more fantastic elements than we might realize, or that we've trained ourselves or been socialized not to see, which is an intriguing idea. I think and there's so much fantasy that embraces that.
It's my favorite genre.
So,
it's so much fun.
So does this mean that so then what are your feelings about like Labyrinth?
That might just be one of my favorite movies growing up. And I probably broke at least one VHS tape with that.
Just wearing it thin and it gets all staticky and just, that's rich. That's a rich world for fantasy, because it does seem so many times that there are things that we miss.
Yeah.
Like even magic in the mundane. Not even magic in addition to the mundane, but magic in the mundane.
Yeah, exactly. Is that we've been living in this world for so long, but there's got to be things you've missed, even if you're familiar with it, because we just go about our daily lives, so of course you're going to pass by stuff.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate your taking time with us. I appreciate you joining us on the couch, and I look forward to seeing you as a guest of honor at CONvergence 2022. Thank you for joining us, Jessica.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us here at CVG-TV. I'm Gregory Parks. We'll see you on the next ConLink.
Dear congoers, always remember to converge.
How you doing, little consumers? I just wanted to take a minute to thank each and every one of you little walking money bags for helping me keep my dying industry alive. You see, sometime within the last, I don't know, decade or so, smoking became less cool. Can you believe that? I couldn't.
I was pretty sure I was going to have to start selling used cars. Or timeshares or something. But then, our scientists came up with something that saved our bacon.
Vaping. I mean, it's gotta be healthier, right? It ain't smoke, it's just steam or something. And don't you love that you can get your vape juices and all the flavors of candy that you loved as a kid? On top of that, when you vape, ain't no one can tell you when you get to use it or not. It'll drive your parents nuts. You're not supposed to do it, so doing it makes you cool. If James Dean was alive, he'd vape. So, let me give yous all the TRDL. I'm making money off of you wanting to be cool. So thanks for that.